Okay guys, welcome to vlog number 6. Today we are going to play the main event of the Carnival Festival. The buy-in is 225 euros, the starting stake is 50k, and the blinds are going up every 40 minutes. So the big question of this episode is if we can make it today to 5 tournaments in a row. So let's get straight into it and let's see if we can manage to do that. Okay guys, the very first hand we pick up 7 deuce offsuit. It's the worst possible starting hand, so that means from now on we only gonna get better hands. A couple of hands later we pick up pocket jacks in the hijack position. The undergun player raised to 600 and we're going to make a re-raise. Of course we make a re-raise to 1.8. And now I'm gonna let you listen to a conversation between me and the small blind, and afterwards I'm gonna tell you why.
You have a YouTube channel?
Yes.
Yes? Ready? English?
In English, yes.
So you are not bad player?
He's a good filmer. Yeah, maybe I'm a good filmer, but a bad player. So the reason why is that the small blind player is being friendly and trying to get some information out of me and try to figure out what kind of a player I am I experienced or not. But you can choose to be quiet and not answer, but I always try to give an answer because I'm trying to be friendly as well. And but you have to keep in mind that if you give your answer, just try not to give too much information to them. But the undergun player checked, we bet to 2.1k and he falls and we took our first pot down. So let's move to the next hand. Undergun plus 1 player raised 700, we are on the button and we pick up some ladies. We're going to make a re-raise, of course. This time we re-raise to 2.5k. The small blind and the big blind falls, but the undergun plus 1 player makes a call. So we're going heads up to the flop in position with pocket queens. The flop is jack high with 2 hearts. He checks. We are going to make a c-bet, of course, and we decide to make a c-bet of 3.9. He thinks for like 20 seconds and at the end he makes a call. It's 13,500 pot. We go to turn the 3 of spades, so it's possible that he has a hand like jack 10 or maybe a flush draw. If he has a hand like ace 3 of diamonds, he improved the 3 of a kind, so we have to be careful, but we cannot give him a free card, so we have to bet. We bet this time 7.6 and he calls, so we have to be careful now and see what the river is. The river is jack of hearts, the worst possible card that we can hope for. If he had a jack 10 or queen jack kind of a hand, he improved to full house now and beats us. If he was on a flush draw, he gets there as well and beats us as well. So only hands that we are beating is pocket 5s or pocket 4s, pocket 10s. He bets 20,000, so I don't think that he's going to have the pocket 5s or pocket 4s, pocket 10s, so that's out of the picture. The only hands we are beating here are complete bluffs. I'm really convinced, almost convinced that I have to fold here, but it's always hard to fold an overpair. We try to get some information out of him and we ask him if he showed for the vlog, if he folds. Show for the vlog?
Just for the vlog.
I have a strong hand, but I don't think it's enough. Ladies always trouble. Fold. So we show our pocket queens. He shows ace jack of suits. So we were beating in all the way, and he got lucky on the river. But okay, let's move to the next hand. The mid position player calls 300. We in the low jack and pick up king queen of suit. We make a raise to 800. The small blind player calls. The big blind folds and the mid position player calls as well, so we go 3-way to the flop with 3,000 in the middle. The flip comes king, jack, jack, 2 diamonds. We have position, so the small blind and the mid position has to act first. Small blind checks, the mid position player checks, And now we're gonna make a c-bet, of course. Make a c-bet of 1.4k. The small blind falls, but the mid position player takes the round and make the call. The pot is 5.8k, and we go to the turn. The turn is a deuce of spades. That's a complete blank. But we have to be careful. He can easily have a hand like Jack 10, Queen Jack kind of a hand, maybe flush draw, or Ace Queen. And he makes a bet of 2.6k. He makes an under bet, so we can re-raise here and see where we at. But if you want to re-raise, we have to make like a bet of 7 to 8,000. But the other option is to make a call and pot control. So we go to the river, and the river is a 10 of clubs, so the ace queen hand gets there as well. He makes a straight, or queen 9 makes a straight. Only hand we are beating here is a hand like king 10 or king 9, and he leads for 10,000 into a pot of 11,000, almost pot bet. So like I said, the only hand we are beating here is king 9 or king 10, or every pocket lower than pocket 10s. So I don't believe that he's going to bluff here. Maybe he missed a flush here, but it would be very weird if you're on a flush draw to bet on the turn. So I think we are beat here, and at the end we make the fold, let the hand go, and choose to move to the next hand. Okay, the next hand we are in a big blind position. The undergun +1 player raised to 1.2k. The small blind falls, and it's back to us. We are going to make a re-raise, of course, since we have picked up one of the premium cards you can get during a tournament, and we make a re-raise to 2.8. The undergun +1 player calls, and we go heads up to the flop. The flop is 3-5-8. Rainbow, we make c-bets 4.1 and try to take the pot down, but undergun +1 player calls. The turn is a 9 of hearts. We break again. We get a little bit stubborn here and try to fire another bullet. We bet 5.2k, and the undergun +1 player calls. The river is a 10 of clubs. I don't think we are going to win here, since he called 3 streets. We can easily have a hand like 5-6 suited, or maybe a set of 3s or a set of 5s. So we check, and he goes all in. We have one option here. We only can fold, and we let our hand go. We lose 12,000 in this pot. Couple hands later, the blinds are up to 200, 400, and big blind ante 400. The undergun +1 player calls. We are in the cutoff position, and we pick up ace king again. We are going to make a raise, of course. We option to make a raise to 1.6. The small blind falls, and it's to the big blind player. He makes a re-raise of 6.5k. The undergun +1 player falls, and we go all in immediately. He makes a call, and we go to the showdown.
Valley, yeah. Always valley, like.
C'est pour ça que je viens. It's not a call, no.
Flush. Wow. The valley is there. Okay, nice hand.
Good job, bro.
So that was our first bullet. We re-entered for 225 euros. First hand, we are in a big blind position. The undergun player raised to 1.5k. The hijack calls, and the small blind falls. We pick up ace 3 offsuit in the big blind. We only have to call 900 to defend our big blind and our ante. So we go 3-way to the flop, and the flop is ace 5-5 rainbow. So we have to pair with the ace. We check. The undergun player makes a bet of 2.2k. The hijack falls, and it's back to us. We are not going to fold, of course. We call 2.2k, and we go to the turn. The turn is a 10 of clubs. We check to pot control, and hopefully he checks back, so we have to be careful against aces with a bigger kicker. He checks, and we go to the river. The river is a king of clubs, so possible backdoor flush game, or the backdoor straight gets there as well. So we go in the option for the check. Since the king of clubs on the river, we don't have a kicker problem, so we are happy to go check check. And if he bets, we can call with our ace. He bets 2.5k. We got a very good price to call. We never gonna fall the 2.5k. We make the call. He shows us king 10 of suit, so he make 2 pair, but our 2 pair is bigger than his, so we add on 8.6 to our stack. The blinds are up to 400, 800 big blind, anti 800. The mid position player raised to 1.5k. We are in the cutoff position and pick up pocket 8s and make a re-raise to 3.2. Everybody falls to the mid position player and he option to make a 3 bet to 10,600. We make the call and we go to the flop in position with 23,200 in the middle. The flop comes queen high with deuce for rainbow and he goes all in immediately for 30,500. This kind of a play mostly indicates weak hands. He can easily have a hand like ace king or maybe jacks or tens for this board. I don't believe he's gonna make the play with aces or kings or sets. I think he would bet for value. Even if we are right that he is weak for this board, he can easily have 9s, 10s or jacks kind of a hand and we are beat as well. So we have to call 30,500 to win 53,700. So I don't believe that's a profitable call, but if you're right, we only beat hands like ace king or pockets lower than pocket 7s to pocket 5s or pocket 3s. So we fold our hand and he tells us that he had ace king. If he's telling the truth, we could make a call, but okay. The next hand, we're on the late position. We pick up pocket aces. Let's go. Normally we would make a raise here, but since it's a very aggressive loose table, we're going to go for a limp raise here. We call for 800. Everybody falls to the small blind. The small blind calls and the big blind checks. That's the worst scenario we can hope for, but okay, let's see if we can manage something out of this spot. The flop comes queen jack 4 deuce spades. The small blind and big blind checks. We make a bet of 2,000 and the small blind sticks around. That's a very tricky but dangerous play here, since we are limped with pocket ace pre-flop. The small blind checks and we make a bet of 3,000. And the small blind player makes a call. So 30,200 on the pot. The river is the 6 of clubs. We're going to go for it. We were thinking to go for the check back if he checks, but he bets 600. We snap call and he shows us queen 8. So our tricky play could work if we didn't get unlucky on the turn. The next hand, we pick a pocket 4s in undergun position. The blinds are already up to 500, 1,000. We call and the small blind goes all in for 18,800. The big blind falls. We ask for a count and we call and go for a showdown. He shows ace 6 of diamonds, so we have to dodge an ace. The flop is good, but the turn is even better. We make a 3 of a kind and get him drawing dead, and he hit the ace on the river as well. So we still win and take a 21,800 pot coming our way. The next hand, we are in a big blind position. The mid player raises 2,000. The cutoff calls. The small blind calls and we only have to call 1,000, so we have pot odds and we call with jack 4 of suit. The flop comes jack high 3 hearts. The small blind checks, we check. The mid position player bets 3,000. The cutoff lets go. The small blind falls and it's back to us. We call of course and we go to the turn with 15,000 in the middle. We make 2 pair on the turn. We check to trying to get him trapped. He bets 3,000. We don't gonna give him a free card or a cheap card. Every heart on a river or a 9 is a very bad card for us. So we option to make a re-raise to 13,000 to make as expensive as we can. He makes a call, so we have to be careful. The pot is 41,000 and the river is queen of diamond. That's a good sign. We don't see a heart, but king 10 gets there for the straight, so we have to be careful. Still, we check, and the mid player makes a bet of 16,000. We snap call. He shows ace 3 of suits, so he had a pair of 3 with the ace, nut flush draw on the flop. Okay, the blind is up to 601.2k and we are in a small blind position. Everybody falls to the cutoff. The cutoff calls for 1.2k and we pick up 10-9 of diamonds. We can easily call with this kind of a hand to defend our small blind. The big blind checks, so we go 3-way to the flop. The flop comes 9 high, 2 clubs, we check. The big blind bets actually 2.2k and the cutoff player goes all in for 8,000. He's very short though. We have top pair, you can easily do that with an ace or a club draw or maybe a 7. So we call the 8,000. The big blind falls his hand, so we go showdown against the cutoff player. To our surprise, he shows pocket kings, so we have to hit a 9 or 10. The turn is a deuce of diamond, only the 10 or 9, but the river is the 8 of clubs, so we lose the spot for 10,400 and move to the next hand. The blinds are up to 1k, 1.5k. The mid position player raises to 4.5k and the late position player goes all in. We pick up pockets, aces. What a dream scenario here. So we go all in as well for 67,500. We have the best possible starting hand in poker, so we are more than happy to stake all our chips into the middle. The big blind player seems interested and asks for a count. And at the end, he goes all in as well. So the pot is now 176,000 and is back to the mid position player. And he goes all in as well, guys. So rock and roll. We show our aces. The big blind shows pocket kings. The mid position player shows pocket queens. And the late position player shows 6-5 of suit. So we have to dodge a king, a queen, or something crazy with a 6-5. The flop comes 6-6-8. He makes 3 of a kind. Oh my god. We still can win the side pot, but we were happy to win it all. And the river's the ace of spades, so we take it all, guys. The ace of spades on the river gives us a full triple up with the chips of the late position. So we took the pot of 242,000 down. The pocket kings wins as well the side pot against the mid position player. So with that crazy hand, we move to the next hand. We are in a small blind position. The hijack raised to 5.5k. The button goes all over 37,000. We pick up pocket 10s, 2 red 10s. We can go all in here to isolate, but we want to be careful that we don't run into pocket aces or big premium hands. So we call the 37,000. The big blind falls and back to the hijack. He falls as well. We go showdown. We show our pocket 10s. He shows ace 8 of suit. So we don't want to see an ace. The flop is 3 diamonds, so any diamond he gets there for the flush, and the turn is unfortunately another diamond. He makes a flush with his ace and take the pot down. We go to a dinner break with about a stack of 190,000 and hope to build up our stack after the break. So after a break, the blinds are up to 2,000, 4,000, 4,000. The cutoff player raised to 11,000. We are in the big blind position. The small blind falls, and we option the defender big blinds and the ante and called 11,000. So we go heads up to the flop. The flop comes 7-3 deuce, 2 hearts. We are out of position, so we're gonna check. We check, and the cutoff player bets 7,000. There's a big possibility that he swinged but missed. So we're gonna call and see what happens on the turn. We call 7,000, 43,000 in the middle, and the turn is the 3 of spades. We're gonna check back, of course, to pot control, and the cutoff player checks immediately back, so that's always good. The river is a king of hearts, so possible flush gets there, but since he doesn't show any strength on the turn, I think we can represent a flush as well, or a hand like ace king or maybe king queen kind of a hand. So if he doesn't have a king or a 7, we can get rid of him of the hand. So we make a big bet of 27,000 and the cutoff player lets it go. So we take it in 80,000 pots and move to the next hand. The next hand we are in the big blind position. The blinds are up to 2,000, 5,000. We are getting closer to the end of day 2. Undergun player raised 11,000. We pick up ace 10 of hearts on the big blind position. We call and we go to the flop. The flop comes ace 7, 3, 2 spades. We check to pot control, and the undergun player bets 10,000. So we are not gonna call pre-flop to hit the ace and the fault, of course. We call and we go to the turn. The turn is another 7, the 7 of diamonds. So we have to be careful. It's possible that he has a hand like 7, 8 or maybe 6, 7. It's also possible that he has a flush draw or maybe an ace. So we check and the undergun player bets 20,000. We aren't going anywhere. We call and the river is another 7, the 7 of clubs. So the only hand we are going to lose is against pocket aces or against a 7. The pot is 89,000. I think the best possible play is to go all in, go for all. If he has a hand, he can call. Maybe if he has a 5 or pocket kings or pocket 10s kind of a hand, he can make the hero call and lose. Since he doesn't snap call, he doesn't have the 7 or pocket aces. So I think the worst scenario for here for is the split against another ace, and the best scenario is that he doesn't have an ace and makes the hero call with a lower full house. At the end he says if you have, you have it. But he makes a call and he shows ace jack and we split pot. So that was the last hand of the night, so it's time to back and take. We take 144,000 to day 2. Okay guys, it's the end of day 1. We made it to day 2 with 144,000. The blind is going to be 3,000, 6,000 day 2. So that means that we have 24 big blinds to start with. Okay, this is our day 2 and it's the 5th tournament in a row that we make it to day 2. Hopefully we can make it 5 in a row into the money. That's the goal, of course. But we did a rebuy this tournament, so we are in for 450 euros in total. But okay, I'm happy that we made it day 2 and we'll see what's going to happen at Saturday. Okay, so until then, see you next time guys.